Hello and welcome, fellow nerds and nerdettes, to yet another GGvision. This is Friday the 14th of January, and today we're going to talk about a few things that have just happened, are about to happen, and what it might mean. But first, let's dwell a little upon what has recently happened over at GomTV in the GSL. By now, I'm confident that you all have watched the games that took place in Codes on Tuesday with Jinro and IdrA fighting to stay in Codes. And if you need a spoiler alert, this will be it. That was a truly epic event, not only because we saw two of our Western foreigners pass through, but also because they brought us truly epic games, especially as I mentioned in my last broadcast where I interviewed Ask Joshi, Game 5 of that series, where Jinro completely rewrote Terran vs. Terran. It's a must-watch if you have a lot of time, but it's an absolute glory to enjoy. And of course, Jinro and IdrA will fight once again very soon. Today, on Friday, Group C takes place. Tomorrow, Saturday, it's Group D. By then we'll know if Jinro and IdrA will have advanced further or not. And this broadcast is taking place minutes before the broadcast begins, so yeah, I'm very excited. But I'd also like to leave you with a tip, because there's a chance some of you have missed it, because yesterday, Thursday, in that group, Group B, which is not as star-studded as most others, only IEM MVP is the real contender there, allegedly. But it nevertheless brought us really good games, and I'd like to give you a heartfelt tip to specifically watch Set 2 of that series, which takes place on Metalopolis between Choya Foyu and OGS Hyperdub. It's an incredibly neat little game with lots of surprisement and excitement, and you have never heard Nick Tasterplot so happy, so go check that out. There's a link down in the description. But moving on to what really matters today. First of all, as I'm sure many of you know, the Intel Extreme Masters, the IEM, kicks off 2011 again next week, starting on Thursday the 20th, I believe, in Kiev, Ukraine. It's going to be an esports feast like none other, with of course many members of the StarCraft 2 World Elite present. Now of course the IEM already has held two events, including StarCraft 2 in the past year, first in Cologne, Germany, and then again in New York, United States. And those were two truly glorious events. I wasn't there myself, but it was nevertheless epic to watch from afar. And they were both times casted by Day9, with other co-casters as well. This time he is not bringing his particular magic to the show. Instead, for the StarCraft 2 expertise, IEM has hired none other than Dario TLO Wunsch, the Wonder Kid. Now this is interesting because Dario is of course not only an accomplished pro gamer playing for Team Liquid, he actually won the Poker Idol tournament in London the other week. Kudos TLO. As well as many other victories, and of course we know him from previous seasons in the GSL over in Korea. But not only is he a competing and skilled pro gamer, he's also quite versatile. He has his own stream up now, there's a link to that as well, and expands his entrepreneurial esports-ness by also working as an expert caster. I'm very much looking forward to it. I know that right now, this very weekend, TLO is somewhere in Germany casting games in German together with Liquid HeyPro, whom I'm pretty sure do not know German, on behalf of ESL. So he's practicing his commentator skills. I'm really looking forward to see how he fares, and I will endeavor to bring you an exclusive interview with him next week where he can tell you guys all about it. It's going to be a feast and a bit of a new chapter in esports history, I believe. Which brings me on to the second main topic of the day. ESFIWorld.com could earlier today report that renowned Swedish pro gamer MaDFrog, known from the early days of Warcraft 3 pro gaming, where he is a legend, and lately as a StarCraft 2 pro gamer, a Zerg, who out of nowhere, arrived, sponsored by SK Gaming, at IEM Cologne in, was it August 2010, where he played a show match against TLO, among others. And whilst he has not won any major victories, he competed at DreamHack but didn't go very far, he has consistently been placed in the top 200 of the European StarCraft 2 ladder, etc. And no one can really doubt his esports credentials. But ESFI World reports that he and SK Gaming have parted ways. The reason being, as given by SK Gaming, that they had different visions for their future together or something along those lines. But the consensus is, as I interpret it, that MaDFrog wanted to be further sponsored to go to South Korea, to live there, to train and compete in the GSL among the best, whereas SK Gaming didn't see a worthwhile investment in doing that. And they added as well that had MaDFrog been in top 5, as they put it, it might have been a different matter, but now he had not performed good enough to warrant that. Now, that may or may not be the case, but I would reckon that it's SK Gaming's loss, not the very least in terms of marketing, to not send a skilled and veteran pro gamer who has been to Korea before in the Warcraft 3 days many years ago, to not send him there. They could earn so much, not at least the publicity, by doing so. And I would also wager to see that MaDFrog will be able to join Team Evil Geniuses pretty soon and go to Korea if he wants to, because ESFI World also reported earlier in the week that well-known British pro gamer DeMuslim had very recently joined EG in order to go to Korea, because it's now more or less official truth that that team, which is of course managed by Tasteless himself, will set up a pro gaming house somewhere in Seoul very soon. Now, this all speaks of the globalization of esports, with StarCraft 2 at the center. And whilst I think it's sad that MaDFrog didn't get the funding, I think it may be a blessing in disguise for him and for the sport. It would be cool to see him on Team EG. I think he would fit in quite nicely. And he is a Zerg to be reckoned with, as far as I'm concerned, has a quite unique style. The point and the thought I'd like to leave you with today is when we think back on how TLO is doing right now, who is all over the place, competing as a pro gamer in one city, 1 week, then it flies to another country to do casting, also he's streaming, quite versatile. I happen to know there are some other plans in works as well, which again I can't speak of. How, or rather, what makes a pro gamer, and how shall a pro gamer make a living? If you are, as a pure athlete, completely dedicated to the art of playing the game and increasing your skill, then you are in the hands of sponsors who may or may not force you to play in a certain way and limit your options. Or should you spread your net wider and play other roles as well, like TLO is doing, so that you have more independence and are more versatile, but perhaps have less time owning your skills? Now, I wonder, because this will be a core issue for many esports professionals in the year to come. 2011 means that we have to grow up and build upon the chaotic enthusiasm that was 2010. And how are we going to do that? People need to make money, and they need to do it in a way that does not compromise or prostitute them playing the game as professionals. It's interesting, and I'm looking forward to talking to TLO about that, and try to get MaDFrog on the show as well if he's interested to share his views. Now, that was what mattered most to me this Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm gonna watch Group C of the GSL and be amazed, and I hope you will all join me. As always, your feedback is my stim pack. If you like it, feel free to subscribe it, give it a thumbs up. There's also links to the Team Liquid thread as well as to Reddit, so feel free to give it a boost if you use those sites. That's all for now. I will see you again on Monday. GG for now.
Brazilian Counter-Strike team is still ranked in the top 3. I think they might be #1, but they've been around competitive gaming for a very long time.